Okay, now on to making the door. I'm going to attempt to make a hinge out of two of these cable clamps. The idea is that they sit in there, and then 4 bolts, nuts even, tighten up these U's, and hopefully this will act as a hinge. I'm going to tack weld the bar to the door. This is my door that I've marked out with tape, and also I've drawn a lead line all the way around, so when the tape comes off I can see where I'm going to cut. Now my plan is to cut through here first, take that out, do these cuts first, then fit my bar, then tack weld it, and then do the rest of the cuts. So I've made the first cut with the cutting disc. Now I'm just going to do these corners with the jigsaw. Okay, so I did my cuts. I welded the hinge on, put the 2 U-bolts through. They've got nuts behind them now. I put a little plate top and bottom just to stop the door from moving up and down. The door opens like that. Now I've just got to make a little latch. So I can open and close it. Okay, I'm going to now make a handle for the door. I've got a split pin. It's just an old split pin with a couple of nice snug fitting washers. I've got an old circlip. I've already cut the little tags off on the end. My idea is that, so it goes through the hinge like that, and I found a spring, and I'm going to lock the ends off the spring and then just feed it on round, and then that will be my main door handle. Hopefully when the spring's heat treated it will take a lot of the spring out.
It's fair enough, then it sits on that and breaks.
Okay, now for the legs. I found this bit of 3mm wall thickness tube, which I'm going to use as the leg. I'm going to put 3 legs on, as 3 legs more stable than 4. So I'll just get my angle. That's my angle there, which I've worked out to be 15 degrees. So I'm going to cut a leg at 15 degrees cut, but an extra 15mm higher, just to lift the air inlet off the ground, just in case I want to use it without the extension legs on it. This piece of tube, I found this, I think it's like a clothing rail or something, but it just so happens to fit into the inside of this tube perfectly. So I'm going to use that and just cut that down so I can have 3 short legs. Okay, so all the paint's been burnt off. I had the first fire last night, it went quite well. The next job is to drill 6 holes, 3 holes either side, and put some rod through so that the pot can sit in. And just trying to work out where the rod should be. Another thing that I noticed that I would change is To make the lid slightly deeper, I might have gone another 10mm down. I think that would have been a bit better, as I just don't like seeing little gaps on the top there. But apart from that, it seems to work quite well. For the latch, I just simply welded the split pin to a piece of metal. I've also used one piece of metal to do two jobs. It's to do the stop when it's open and stop when it's closed. So last night I heated the pot up red hot, and when it was right up to temperature, I put some of this oil on a rag. Dip the rag in that oil. It's just a cheap cooking oil, and then I ragged it over the lumpy wood burner, and it's given us a nice black satiny looking finish, and it's not sticky at all. In fact, it feels silky or like satin. I welded a doorstop on this edge. It's only out about 4mm. Seems to do the job fine. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do decide to make one, I recommend you bring this lid down about another 10mm, and I don't know if you can see it, but try not to grind an area that's that you're not going to weld to. It just changes the texture, and I don't think there's any need for that. I've put a cover over the top. This is a motorbike helmet cover. Seems to fit perfectly. I've also, which I haven't shown you, is I made a little mesh which just sits in the bottom of the bottle while I've got some heat beads on. When I'm burning wood I don't bother putting that on, but with the heat beads I'll be using that. We've got a large pot which fits perfectly in. We're cooking a lentil soup. Now at the moment there's you can see, but it's actually very breezy, and this is working quite well. I've got heat beads in there, and they're going to slowly cook the soup. And the heat beads, being all protected, don't seem to be affected by the wind. So this is out in the elements, and it's cooking quite well. So that's our soup. This time I'm cooking dampers and jaffles. The dampers are for dinner, the jaffles are for lunch. I'm cooking on heat beads, just because the campsite that we're at doesn't have a great deal of wood about. And there's my dampers in there. I'm starting to rise, so hopefully they'll be alright. Now I'm cooking some oat bran bread. It's really quite windy at the moment. We're cooking on coals, charcoals. This time I'm using the camp oven, cast iron camp oven. Sits inside nicely. Just comes out. There's my oatmeal bread.